Lanzamiento, aquí viene un batazo de Mundito entre right center field, la bola pica, se extiende, viene anotando Stott, empata el juego, también manda para la bola Turner anota y los Phillies se van arriba. Se prepara, Mundito en segunda, el lanzamiento, batazo profundo para el center field, la bola se va, Schwarber Bob, ¡campanazo! Aquí viene el lanzamiento, swing y lo ponchó. Ponche de Alvarado, amigos. Welcome to another show of Phillies Weekly. Both for Jeff and I, it's a pleasure to be here with you, Jeff. The offseason has started, and Dave Dombrowski and the team are swinging to try to build this team and try to go in over the hump and go to the World Series. How you doing, brother?
Pretty good, Oscar. You know, it's weird being off 2 months, but you know, it's just one of those things. I'm like the Phillies, right? I've been off the last 2 months, but enjoying the holiday season, ready to get back on 2026. But just like the Phillies in a sense.
Absolutely. Look, we have a tremendous show for you guys. We could not have better guests with us. The great Tim Kelly will be with us, as well as Roger McNamee. I mean, Roger McNamee has been literally around the world, and he will explain to us exactly what that is. And as well, we have Luke Arcaini with us from Crossing Broad. It is a pleasure. Why don't we bring them all, and let's start talking about the offseason and where we are so far and where are we going. So, guys, here we go. This is the game for you tonight. It's going to be a very, very interesting discussion. It's a lot of things happening in the Phillies world. Tim, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. Crazy ending in this Lions-Steelers game we were just talking about. But, yeah, plenty to talk about with the Phillies.
The Eagles are in the playoff, baby. We're back. We're back on the playoff, back-to-back. I mean, for the first time in 20 years. I mean, we made history last night, and we're happy to be there. And look, there's nothing like a playoff game at the Link. So we're looking forward to it. Whomever is going to come, my guess is going to be the 49ers, but we'll see where we end up there. Roger, the glove trotter, tell us where you are right now and where you've been.
So I'm back in California. I was in New Zealand for the last month. So
yeah, 12 hours ago or whatever, 24 hours ago, he was in New Zealand.
Yeah. Well, I'm on my second Sunday. You know, I left New Zealand at 4:00 in the afternoon on Sunday, arrived in San Francisco at 8 a.m. on Sunday, same day.
The shortest day of the year wasn't short enough for you.
Not
right?
Exactly. I got two versions of that without any sleep in between. But, you know, it's only 7 weeks till pitchers and catchers report. So I'll tell you, you know, the days are getting longer as we work our way towards spring training, and I'm very excited for that.
Hey, Jeff, when my phone starts beeping at 3 a.m. in the morning, we know who is that coming from.
Oh, exactly.
You know what? That's why you two were on mute for the past month, because I knew where he was.
Oh, my goodness. Well, great to have you here, Roger, and the great Luke Arcaini. How are you, Luke? How's it going, man?
What's going on? Doing good. Not in New Zealand, which I was, but
hey,
no, doing good.
I mean, come on, good. Every other week you're in a bachelor party or what's going on?
No, it's been a couple months. We're good now. We're good.
Hey, guys, it's great to have you here. Look, the offseason has started. I mean, Dave have begun to make a number of very important moves. It'll be very interesting. Why don't we start with you, Tim? You were at the winter meetings. I mean, tell us about what was your sense in the winter meeting, and what have you seen kind of so far at a high level, at a more strategic level, and then we go kind of to all the moves that he has made so far. I mean, with bringing Garcia to play right field, and a number of the different moves that he has made. Why don't you give us kind of your overall high level view, kind of where the team is right now?
Well, I think bringing back Kyle Schwarber was important, and they did that, and you luckily got a relatively quick resolution there, so that was one. They're still waiting on JT, but I did think – I was a little surprised they ended up acquiring a starting outfielder before JT. So maybe JT's taken a little longer than you thought, but getting Adolis Garcia, you really, in my mind, solidified, whether people like it or not, what your outfield is probably going to look like on opening day. Garcia is an interesting player. Obviously, a few years ago was one of the most electric players in the league. Hasn't hit the last 2 years. He's a really good fielder, but they obviously are banking on him hitting more. They're banking on Justin Crawford working out, and you still do have the JT thing out there. And I have some reservations about giving a 35-year-old catcher a contract, but there's not really another great option either. The Orioles clearly are not selling, so the talk of Adley Rutschman to me is not realistic, and there's just not a ton of other great options. So I think so far they certainly haven't run it back. I get you're going to have a lot of the same players if you re-sign Kyle and JT, but you now move on from Matt Strahm. It looks like are going to replace some combination of Max Kepler, Harrison Bader, and Nick Castellanos with Justin Crawford and with Adolis Garcia. So you have definitely made some changes, and we'll see how it pans out.
Yeah, I think the injection of youth is something that the team is trying to do right now to balance a little bit of the higher payroll. I mean, the bottom line, Kyle Schwarber is going to cost you $10 million more than it cost you last year. I mean, that's kind of the reality. And look, there's big dollars being put in as investments for a lot of these players. And I mean, to me, at the end of the day, it's about all these big players from Harper to Schwarber to Turner delivering at the right time in the postseason. I mean, we need to count on them. I mean, they need to go in and deliver, because if they don't deliver, the last 2 years we haven't been able to go past the first round, or whatever the second round you would call it, not the wild card, but kind of the divisional round. Roger, how you see things at a high level?
Yeah, so Oscar, I'm going to push back a little bit on what you just said there, because, we caught two insanely unlucky breaks at the end of the season, with Wheeler going on out for the season with a month and a half to go, and then Bader going out right in the playoffs. And in spite of that, we came within 2 ABS calls of getting past the Dodgers, and completely shutting down Shohei. So to me, running it back out, it was the obvious thing to do here. And I love Garcia and Wright simply because of what he does for the fielding. And I think our pitchers deserve to have a right fielder who can catch the ball. And, I'm actually a huge Nick Castellanos fan, but his fielding has hurt us, and it's hurt us a lot. And I like this better. I'm a believer that there is some combination of kind of the 5 guys that are at the top of the stack right now. So that includes Kemp and Rojas, plus the 3 guys we know about, that makes you, it's not going to get you an all-star outfield, but it might get you to 96 wins again. And it might win you a playoff game, because there's a lot more speed out there. There's better arms, way better arms out there. And the defense is just going to be very significantly improved from a year ago.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be very interesting. I mean, to me, at the end of the day, if the big bats don't hit at the right time, we won't be able to win on a consistent basis.
Yeah. But Oscar, seriously, I mean, the Dodgers hit 199 against us.
Yeah, no, right? I got it, but that's our pitching. Our pitching delivered. There is no question about it. The pitching was outstanding. And
again, you had the ball fours in those 2 cases, which cost us the last game for sure, and arguably also the second game.
I mean, we even go to last year. I mean, even before this year, where Castellano was our best hitter in the postseason. I mean, against in those 4 games against the Mets. But we'll talk more about it as we go into kind of how we're assembling.
I'm curious whether, if they don't find a partner for Castellanos, whether they, just sit him down and say, "Dude, you're on the bench."
They're not. It's no.
Yeah. That's definitely not happening.
Yeah, the problem is the dynamics in the clubhouse more than anything. Look, from your end, how you see things so far?
Yeah, I will say the strategy that they're kind of going with the bullpen here interests me a little bit. I think in years past they've kind of gone out and they've started to just like throw some darts at these 1-year veterans like Kimbrel and Romano and Ross. And, not many of them have worked out. And I think what they're doing with the bullpen interests me a lot more than it has in previous years. They may not be getting as many, proven guys, but they're getting cheap guys that have the ability to become something. They got 3 relievers, and I think, 2 of them I would say maybe interest me more than the third one. But I think what they're doing with the bullpen right now is definitely interesting to me, because it's not these situations where they're just finding relievers that have had success in the past and had a bad year and giving them $9 to $12 million and saying, hey, please find it again. They're getting multiple guys that are under control for $800,000 until 2032.
Okay,
and that doesn't include McNamee, right?
Yeah, exactly. And even that,
McNamee's
and
a really interesting cat.
Yeah, I agree.
Really,
I agree.
And I think that kind of goes into the strategy is they're trying. I mean, it's pretty obvious they're trying to make their bullpen a little younger. They're going after McNamee in the Rule 5.
Well,
Backus.
also we've got a little bit more juice in the bullpen than we had last year.
Yeah.
It's still funny when we talk about like them getting the bullpen younger. If we had to poll Phillies fans on who the youngest player on the team was, do you think they could have done it?
Probably not.
Yeah, I mean, we know the answer to this, right?
Yeah, he's in the bullpen.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go.
But he's
the
also
last play of the season.
But he's also a guy that a lot of people don't want back on the team next year.
Yeah, which is weird because I've been saying since probably the 24 hours after it happened, he's coming back. So it is what it is. But I agree with you, Luke. Like they're trying to get younger there. It was an older. It's still an older team, but you're looking at the Schwarbers and the Harpers and that. But they are trying to get younger at a bunch of other areas, and this is where I agree with Tim. I have reservations about bringing back a 35-year-old catcher, but what else is out there?
So I wanted to start here because I think we've got to start at a very important point. This is a 95-96 win team. The last 2 years, we won the division. Prior to that, you can see consistently the Braves have been playing really good baseball. Last year, the injuries to their pitching staff was a big concern. The Mets are, to me, an enigma. To me, the Mets, last year they got us at the right time, and unfortunately, they still had Pete Alonso. This team goes and trades Nemo for a 35-year-old second baseman that is on a decline. Nobody questions his defensive capabilities, but he's 35 years old. They lose Pete Alonso. To me, it's puzzling what they let Edwin Diaz go. With all the money that they have, and it's puzzling what the Mets are doing. I truly don't understand what the Mets are doing. The Braves have made some very, very strong move. I think bringing Suarez to go in the back of the bullpen is really, really strong. And to me, the Braves at this point are going to be our main competitor next year. It will depend a lot on the health of both teams, and whomever is healthier, and I include that Wheeler in that list, is going to be able to win the division once again.
Yeah, I don't think the Mets thought they were going to lose Edwin Diaz.
Yeah.
But I do think they probably were content to lose Pete Alonso, and I think they've just miscalculated. And I really look around baseball the fact that Pete Alonso was a free agent back-to-back off seasons and just now gets the 5-year deal, and a lot of people viewed the deal as an overpay. I like modern baseball stats as much as the next guy, but if you have a guy that can hit 40 home runs a season and drive in 100 runs, and I know driving in runs requires people to be on base in front of you, I get that, but you still have to do it, and Pete Alonso does it about as well as anyone in the National League. So I just think they undervalued him. The Phillies got it. It's not great to have a guy cemented at first base or DH, but if they're one of the 5 or 6 guys in baseball that can hit 40 home runs every year, you'll make a spot for him. That's what I would do.
You're replacing Alonso for Polanco. You go in and sign him Polanco. 40 home runs versus 20.
Is there anyone in the world that is more scared to face Jorge Polanco than Pete Alonso?
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, you're trading 40 home runs for 20. You're trading 125 RBIs for 75, and the guy had knee issues in the past, and you're trading Diaz for Williams. I mean, we know what happened to Williams last year when he came in New York. There were times where he pitched well, but he was not the Milwaukee closer. And then you trade Nemo for Simeon. I mean, I don't understand what the Mets are doing. I mean, they better do something now.
Yeah, what is it with the Mets and signing all these ex-Yankees?
Well, I think Devin Williams is probably going to work out, but the problem is they build it as Devin or Edwin Diaz, and now Edwin Diaz left. So I still think the Mets are going to sign Cody Bellinger probably, speaking of ex-Yankees. And need at first, they have a need in center, and they have a need in left. So that screams
they'll continue the tradition. How about that?
So, I still think the Mets are going to be competitive. I think the Marlins played really well the second half of last year. The Nationals are a train wreck, but the Braves are going to be better than last year. I don't think you should crown the Phillies division champs yet, but the Mets have definitely taken a step back, no doubt about it.
But what do we think about the Mets prospects? I mean, they have one of the top farm systems in baseball, and a couple of these guys are ready to go.
Well, yeah, I think McLean is as good as it gets. We saw him a second half. I think he could be an ace. And then they have some other guys that pitching-wise came up in the second half that either could be part of their rotation or part of a bit. If the Tigers do trade Skubal, the Mets are in as good a position as anybody to make an offer. But I don't know.
You also hear rumor about the Padres maybe wanting to reduce significantly their payroll. They're in the process of selling the team. So there might be something there as well.
But then they just signed Michael King. So you never know with the Padres.
That team is it's a roller coaster in terms of what they do. I mean, when you're expecting they're going to sell, they go sign Michael King to a 3-year deal. So it's very, very, very interesting. So look, the reality at this point, it looks Phillies and Braves moving forward. But I wanted to make sure that we keep in perspective that this is a 95 to a 96 win team. That we're trying to get it younger. So particularly when you having to pay more to somebody like Kyle Schwarber, some of the young guys can take over and offset some of the significant investments you have to make. And we're going to talk about a lot of those things. Talking about free agents, and Jeff, we'll love your perspective of this. So we re-signed Kyle Schwarber. We bring back Jose Alvarado on a team option, a $9 million team option. That's the last year that Alvarado has a contract with us. And then we sign Schwarber, and then we bring Brad Keller. He was one of the guys that we identified in our last program as somebody that the Phillies could bring. And then Devin Williams goes. This is what was projected in the beginning. What was it, a 3-year deal, Devin Williams? Was it a 3-year?
Yeah.
3-year with it.
Yeah.
50-something, yeah.
So, Jeff, your thoughts in general, kind of where we are and where we might go from here.
Well, I know everybody likes to say they're running it back. They're not. I think we all were in agreement on that. Look, if you weren't bringing Kyle Schwarber back, who were you bringing in? I mean, it looked like Kyle Tucker's going to go to the Dodgers. I'm still not 100% sure on that, but that's where it's been leaning toward. And we talked about Bellinger. I guess P. Alonso might have been a possibility, but I don't think they were going to go that route. So it was, I've heard since July, it was Kyle Schwarber pretty much or bust this offseason. So when they got him, I'm like, okay, they took care of that. I knew they were going to redo the outfield. I mean, Tim, Luke, Roger, anybody could have told you Nick Castellanos was not going to be back. I wasn't sure about Alec Boehm, honestly. I think Alec Boehm's going to stay. But so that potentially could be a move. I just don't think they can move him for what they think he's worth. You knew changes were coming to the bullpen. I kind of knew early on this offseason Matt Strahm probably wasn't coming back, so wasn't a surprise they traded him. I was kind of surprised what they got for Matt Strahm, although I'm intrigued by it. But overall, I don't think this team's running it back. I just think you're bringing up a Justin Crawford and Andrew Painter and at some point an Aiden Miller, and you are going with this youth movement, these guys that you were not willing to trade for 2 years now, and you believe in these guys so strongly that you got an outfield position for one of them, and the other one will more than likely be in your rotation to start the year.
Well, Roger, and maybe the Phillies are bluffing, but they just gave $150 million to Kyle Schwarber, and the guy they've talked about the most this offseason on how much they love is Otto Kemp. So
Yeah.
I'm a little skeptical that Otto Kemp can play third base, but I thought he held his own in the outfield. So if you're telling me he platoons with Marsh in left field, I think you can win some games like that.
I still think it's. Oh, go ahead, Luke.
I think the most, interesting one for me, I would say, going into the offseason was Harrison Bader. I don't think it's as interesting anymore. But Harrison Bader really lucked out. Probably the best 3 months of his baseball career were played in the 3 months that he was with the Phillies. And going into a contract year, I don't think the Phillies are in the wrong for not wanting to give Harrison Bader a 3-year contract. I think fans loved him because he's different and he went up to the plate and he actually hit the ball in some months where a lot of the Phillies outfield wasn't doing that. But, if you go back and look at the track record, like the Phillies are in the right. Like Harrison Bader's not a guy you give a 3-year deal to. If Harrison Bader came to you and said, hey, I don't have anyone that wants to give me a 3-year deal, I'll come back on a 2-year deal, then I think the Phillies would be a lot more interested. But it's not you can't give a guy 3 years because of 3 good months. And I think that's what a lot of fans wanted to do. That one was interesting. And the JT thing to me is, I can't lie, I thought JT would have been re-signed by now. It seems like it's going longer than people expected. And I get, he's the best free agent catcher on the market, but it seems like they're a little bit more apart than I think a lot of us thought they maybe would be. I don't know if it's coming down to years. I would assume it is. But, maybe the Phillies are hesitant once again on giving a 35-year-old catcher a 3 to 4 year deal. And I don't blame them. Like if it comes down to the fact of him walking and you trade for a catcher that you can stick back there and be average to below average and you put that money somewhere else, maybe I'd prefer that over giving JT, a 3 to 4 year contract at that age.
Roger, I have a question for you. Why do you believe the Phillies did not go after Bader?
Yeah, I don't know. And I think what Luke just said is probably the answer, which is they didn't think 3 years was a number they're going to. And my guess is that the issue with JT is also over the number of years. My guess is that they're offering JT a very high AAV, but for fewer years.
And I think the other thing is, to me, the upgrade that Dolis Garcia offers you in right field over what you have had before, and having Crawford that could play center and left, not ideal center fielder, but can play center field and have great speed to catch up to balls. To me, they're trying to get more slog out of the outfield than they got this year.
Go ahead. Yeah, well, Luke said, first of all, with Bader, I agree with Luke. I think he overplayed his hand. Like, I think if he just wanted a nice 2-year deal, whether it was the Phillies or, but now, like the Phillies, the Rangers, the Royals, a lot of
the Mets are looking for a center fielder.
Well, I think that's where he's.
Yeah, just gotta go back there.
Yeah, but I think he overplayed his hand and thinking he was going to get a 3-year deal, and now who knows? Like he might end up having to settle for a 1 year. I don't know. He'll probably get 2, but there's not a lot of.
This is the interesting part, right? We know how in the past Dave have played his hand. He waits it out, and then maybe at the end he might find something like a bottom of the 3 there. I mean, and he falls on our lap, and I mean Harrison Bader would be ideal to have. I mean, I would love to have Harrison Bader and Garcia in center and right, and then you do whatever you need to do with Crawford and left, and then you move pieces around. I mean, to me, that would be the ideal outfield for the Phils.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Tim.
Well, I was just going to say, as far as JT, I think like he's already probably accepting that he's going to make less money annually than he did. I think he probably thought he would get a 3-year deal, and now that it's clear, like, I want the Phillies to go to team that is JT this offseason. Like the Red Sox and Pirates have been mentioned in passing, but why would the Phillies go to 3? Like if there was some team really pushing to sign JT, then maybe the Phillies go to 3. But if not, they're not just going to go to 3 out of the kindness of their heart. And I would say, like, the last time JT Realmuto was a free agent, he didn't sign it until late January. So he showed last time he was a free agent, he's comfortable as much as you can be waiting things out. And I still think this is going to end up with him back on the Phillies.
Yeah.
I would agree too. And back to the Bader stuff, like, say Bader's market does diminish here and he has to go back to a 1 or 2 year deal, and maybe Dombrowski goes back to that. I don't know. But back to what Tim said earlier with Otto Kemp, like, they're serious about how they feel about Kemp. But I'd like to see how serious if something like Bader's market would crash, because all I've been hearing the past 5 months was, well, wait till he's healthy. And I knew he was on the broken kneecap, and I knew he was in a lot of pain throughout the season. But I think they want to give him that shot completely healthy. I just think they're banking a lot on him and Justin Crawford right now.
Yeah, they are. Absolutely.
Yeah, fair point. Ranger, I mean, I don't see any way whatsoever that he's coming back here. I mean, Orioles is an option, Blue Jays is an option, the Giants are an option. I mean, probably in that order, and even the Mets could be.
Well, I think Orioles or Cubs.
Yeah, I think
that's
Orioles, Cubs. Yeah, fair. That's fair. And to me, the Orioles either Valdez or Ranger between the Cubs and the Orioles. One of them is probably going to sign with one or the other. I mean, what's your take on the Mets not wanting to spend? I mean, I know he's building an $8 billion casino across the street from Citi Field, but I mean, Cohen. But what's the take on? I mean, it looks strange their approach.
Well, they've still spent. I just think David Stearns comes from Milwaukee, where they win on a budget. But I mean, like, they still spent on Polanco, whether we agree with it or not. I still think they're going to sign like another free agent like Bellinger. They spent on Williams, so they're spending. I do think after the way they finished the season, they felt like they had to shake things up, and they've done it. I don't know that I agree with how they've done it, but they've certainly done it.
Yeah, I thought this year. I thought this year their quote unquote lack of spending. I thought that was going to be last year. They weren't going to do anything, and then they were able to get Juan Soto and paid a king's ransom for him. But yeah, I'm with you, Tim. Like, there's still free agents out there for them to get. I think they are far from finished this offseason.
Let me give you a scenario. Let's say we don't sign JT and we go in and trade for a quality defensive catcher that could maybe platoon with Marchand. Then, I mean, that is what, $17-20 million you have available. If it was on your shoes, where will you spend it?
I would probably I'd spend it on Amai, the pitcher from Japan.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And listen, I don't think there's any way it happens, but I mean, I would love the Phillies to trade Bohm and go try and get Bichette.
That's an option.
I think
yeah, it is.
I think Bichette's an awesome baseball player. He's only 27. Like, I just don't think they do it. But that would be the route. I think that's a route they could go. I don't believe that's a route they go if they bring back JT. If they were to lose JT and they go get a cheaper catcher, they have the money, they can trade Bohm. And then you get maybe into the Bichette or Bregman situation. But then the only thing about, giving this potential, and it seems like if it was Bichette, I guess Bichette would go to second. Like that's where, and maybe they would play Stott at third or until Aiden Miller. I don't know. Ready. But the Bichette thing for me, like that's my home run. I don't see it happening. But that would be a move and that's a move that I think can really get people back in.
There have been like some, I guess, discussion. I don't know how far they've gotten, but there's at least been interest in their end on Bichette. But yeah, I agree with you, Luke. I just don't know how they can do it.
Well, Luke talked me into it a little though there, because letting JT go alone wouldn't do it. But then you trade whatever Bohm, about $10.5 million. Like, you are getting into that range of $35 million, like that it would cost to sign Bichette. So I don't think it's a terrible idea. And yeah, you probably get Stott back to the position he made his major league debut at third base, and
with what number? Wasn't it like 73?
Yeah,
Something like that.
and you roll with that. So I don't know. You have a good lineup.
Boy, that's a baseball card there, Luke, if you can find it.
I know. Well, the only reason I remember that is because when they first put Bryson Stott in, I believe it was MLB The Show, they had him in number 73, and they had him listed at like 265 pounds. And
Yeah,
there
he
was
definitely
a
wasn't
picture that
that.
went viral of like a really big Bryson Stott playing second base.
Okay, guys, let's go over kind of the moves just to kind of bring everyone up to speed. I mean, we know that Kyle signed a 5-year, $150 million contract. I mean, he's been to the playoffs 10 out of the 11 years that he's played. I mean, he's won a World Series with the Cubs. Look, 100 last year, 111 runs, 132 RBIs, 56 home runs. That production, I mean, is irreplaceable. I think Ohtani might be the only, and Judge might be the only two guys that could put numbers of that magnitude. I mean, look, the reality is that we needed to bring him, both what he does in the field and in the clubhouse and the community. You needed to do it. You made it happen. Now we signed Odalis Garcia. He's from Cuba. This guy has 15 games in the postseason. He hit 8 home runs, 22 RBIs, over 1,000 OPS. I mean, this guy was the MVP of the American League Championship Series. He has a great glove in right field, makes acrobatic plays that we have not seen in a while at Citizens Bank Park. So he's going to be a fan favorite. And the other thing, he plays with an edge, which is you want that passion and that edge. I mean, he's the perfect fit for the Phils. I do believe this guy, and he's on a contract year, so he's going to try to do everything he can to truly shine and make a difference. So I love, like you, Tim, I love this acquisition. I think this guy is going to be great. This guy is going to bring a level of energy. The question is, the last 2 years he has not hit well. I mean, and he a lot of chasing, a lot of swing and misses. I mean, and that's the part that is concerning here. But I mean, he has 141 home runs. I mean, he's going to be somebody that hopefully he can turn it around. I mean, getting under Kevin Long wing and just taking it to another level, that is the hope. But he needs to. I mean, he even spoke when he talked about it on his press conference. He spoke about trying to become more disciplined. But it's going to be. I mean, I really, really like the signing. Brett Keller. Look, with regards to Strom, there were some dynamics apparently between him and the coaching staff in terms of philosophy around preparation or pitching. I don't know exactly what it is. I mean, that is what the report is out there. The Athletic put some things out there, Matt Gelb, and that is what's out there. It's nothing to do with clubhouse. A guy is a tremendous human being. Everybody loves Matt Strom and what he brings from as a persona and what he brings to the clubhouse. I mean, you guys have been in the clubhouse. I mean, Jeff, Tim, and Luke. I mean, Matt Strom is a class act. I mean, he's a wonderful guy, and I love to have him as a teammate.
Well, Matt Strom is like super intense though, and never hides his feelings. And I'm not saying this in a bad way, but sometimes that like has a shelf life, and you change when you aren't winning, aren't getting over the hump in the playoffs. You change out some of those guys, and I'd be careful how many of those guys you change out, because Bader was like that as well. In terms of bringing an edge, and you want to have some of those guys. But, I mean, you had the PFPs thing in the postseason. I just think, like, sometimes things run their course. And I would also say he was throwing in the low 90s at the end of the season at times last year.
That, to me, is an important
If
component.
that pitch to Teoscar Hernandez was at 96 miles an hour, maybe he fouls it off. Instead, he hits a home run, and that wrecked the Phillies season. So I think it made sense to kind of make him be proactive here. It doesn't mean he won't be good next year, but if you're making me bet on him or Keller, I would bet Keller's better.
Oh, to me, Keller is Jeff Hoffman. To me, Keller is Jeff Hoffman.
Yeah,
I love the guy.
I agree. I agree with Tim too. And look, like I know people were trying to pin it as, oh, Matt Strom against Rob Thompson. I'm like, no, that wasn't true at all. But what was true was declining performance, and you're getting tired of hearing, Matt Strom is very outspoken. There's I don't have a problem with that, but yeah, it does wear out its welcome. And he's been here for multiple years now, and he's gone to bat for a lot of pitchers. I know a lot of guys in the bullpen respect him, but I also know that the front office wasn't too crazy about some of the stuff that he was leaking out. So, you see that. You see a 34-year-old decline performance. It's the writing was pretty much on the wall for Matt. It's a shame because I thought he was a really good piece for this team, but you're not going to be here forever. And I just think it was time for them to. They high salary. They picked up the option. They were able to move on from him. And look, I'm like you guys. When they signed Brad Keller, you kind of knew that was definitely the end for Matt Strahm. But Brad Keller's a really good move for this team.
Yeah, I love the move. I love the move.
People after they traded Matt Strahm were saying, "Oh, well, what does this move mean? What are they going to do with the salary?" I think they had already signed Brad Keller with the expectation that they were going to trade Strahm.
Trading Strahm.
Look, the other important thing about Brad Keller, he was 4-2, had a breakout season last year, 207. I heard the manager of the Cubs spoke about him. He called him the MVP of the bullpen. The MVP of the bullpen. This guy in postseason, he pitched he went 5 times out there. A lot of times he pitched more than 1 inning. He had a 1.59 ERA in the postseason. So, this guy brings it. I love the makeup. I love what this guy brings. To me, this is Jeff Hoffman, what we had 2 years ago that was so successful for the Phillies. We bring a very, very good arm. Roger, your thoughts on the Brad Keller signing?
Well, Oscar, to me, the declining performance from Strahm was a warning sign, and I think we all felt it in the second half of last year. And so, to me, I love this move, even though those guys got 1 year in the position. I just really love them making the move. I like the other pieces they have around now, and the kid they got from Kansas City is interesting. Again, the Rule 5 kid is really interesting.
Yeah, we'll talk about it momentarily here, and then
but I'm just saying, all of these things come together, right? We've got better fielding in the outfield. I don't see why this team can't be at least as good as it was last year and better in the playoffs.
So, look, we got an extension here for Topper, a year extension. This guy. From a percentage standpoint, he's the winningest manager in Phillies history. The guy's number 10 in the win list already. He's been, a manager for 4 years. He's done an unbelievable job.
Yeah, what is it with this city and hating winning coaches, by the way? Rob Thompson, Nick Sirianni. Why does the city hate guys that win?
Well,
Nick Sirianni brings it on himself.
Yeah. Fighting with fans and all the craziness stuff. Look, your thoughts on Topper getting extended?
Yeah, I think the second you heard that Thompson was coming back, I think everyone knew there would be a 1-year extension. You don't really send a manager into an expiring contract. But guys earned it, man. I understand, I have a hard time with the people that, really don't like him because there's a lot of, his situations in the past have really just come down to guys just not executing. And it's really funny. I always think it's funny how everyone's like, fire Thompson because he's a bad manager, but then it turns into switch the roster up because the guys on the roster can't go all the way. And that to me means the guys on the roster can't execute, meaning at that point, how much is it really Rob Thompson's fault? So, I expected the extension. I think the guys in the clubhouse love Rob Thompson. I think everyone in the organization loves Rob Thompson. And he's done a very good job since he took over because Phillies went through a little bit of a spurt after Charlie Manuel of not a lot of good managers. And I think he's done a really good job with the team. I think he's been put into some situations where he's had to figure some things out, and he's done a good job at that. And I, once again, will give him credit for after the All-Star break, completely committing to a full outfield platoon. And it was the best 2.5 months that the outfield had.
I think we're all in agreement. I mean, the interesting part is going to be, is this 1 year either World Series or we might have to make some adjustments? I mean, that is a big question here.
Yeah. Or does Rob step down on his own? Because he's always talked about it, but he does like doing it. But and I don't blame him when you have a team that consistently improves their win total every year and has won. You have as many wins as the Dodgers in the regular season over the last 2 years. It's kind of hard to step down from that.
Well, I think the one, if they had made a change after the season, it wouldn't have shocked me. But like Luke said, once they brought him back, I think they were going to put the extension in. It doesn't change the possibility that after this season, if the Phillies were to miss the playoffs, they could still make a managerial change if that's what they decided to do. The one thing about Rob that I think people miss out on, that I would say I've gotten to see in the last 4 years, is that I see some people say he's asleep or he has no personality. He's pretty funny.
He's got personality.
It's honestly the complete opposite.
That doesn't mean that he is the manager forever and that you can never question anything. But that aspect that I see people say on Twitter and Facebook all the time, that he has no energy or no personality.
He runs the show. He runs the show.
I think it would help him to get ejected more once in a while. I disagree with not getting ejected once in a while more, but they have had success, and I do think the demeanor he has is kind of what you need to have over an 162 game season. I know people have this idea from movies in the 1990s of flipping the spread in the clubhouse like angels in the outfield. It's not how they don't even have spreads in the clubhouse. It's not how it works.
I didn't think they had a Chris Mesner in the clubhouse either.
Roger, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I think the biggest issue for Rob is JT, because if they don't re-sign him, Caratini is not a solution behind the plate. And our pitching staff needs, I would sooner take a chance on Marchand for 150 games.
He won't hold up. He physically, I don't think he'll be able to hold up.
I hear you, but Caratini's not a solution. Our pitching staff, both starters and relievers, need to have somebody who handles them well. Marchand, when he's in, has actually shown he's very good at that, but they need JT. And from Rob's point of view, his season, I think, turns on whether they can re-sign JT, because without that, then I think the pitching staff is going to be potentially at risk.
I don't know. Christopher Sanchez is going to, I'm not saying that there won't be an adjustment period, and I don't know that Caratini's the guy, but just if you put in an okay catcher with Marchand and they platoon, I still think I still think Christopher Sanchez is going to be really good. If Zach Wheeler's healthy, he's going to be really good. The Phillies have a lot of really good pitchers. So I'm not disputing the prep that JT does. I've seen it. But I think we've gotten a little carried away and acting like it's nobody else could do it.
I'm just saying, of the people who are available, Tim, when you look at Caratini as a catcher, he's not quite, relative to JT, he's not quite in the Castellanos territory, but he's really a gigantic step down as a catcher.
Well, honestly, JT's defensive numbers have been pretty bad the last couple of years.
His pitch calling and his pitch handling and his control of the running game. Caratini doesn't get anybody out on the bases.
No, the running game is fair.
Caratini is kind of he's one of the options up there. I'm sure there's a lot of catchers out there that are better defensive catchers that we might be able to bring. But hey, let's cross the JT bridge once we get there. Let's not cross it. And I know the Phillies are doing Plan B, and that's what they're discussing, a number of different options. Let's jump into the Rule 5 draft. So we lose McGarry, a great arm, issues with controls throughout his career. He went from being a starter to a reliever. He wanted to be back a starter and did a great job, coming back. And the Nationals get him. And then we go and I think it's the 12th pick. We went out and got a Marlins pitcher that is promising. He's 26 years old. He's not young. The Marlins are known to bring good pitchers into their system, 6'2", 225. The guy's from New Jersey, North New Jersey, and he was picked in the 3rd round of the Marlins. A few years back, he was the 15th best prospect right now he's the 34th best prospect. The guy has 2+ pitches, particularly a curve. I've seen some of the videos of his curve. I mean, it's really, really filthy. And also he moved from kind of being a starter to be more of a reliever, and he's throwing a lot harder. He also has a cutter, and he needs more consistency with his command, which is kind of where we are. But this is a guy that has 12 strikeouts every 9 innings. I mean, and he was last year between AA and AAA. So interesting guy. I mean, interesting guy. Go ahead.
Good.
Oh, I was just going to say, like, a lot of these relievers, you try 9 and 8 don't work, basically. But the Phillies in the past have found Shane Victorino, who was an excellent player, and then Odubel Herrera, who obviously it didn't end well, but like for a few years was a really productive player. They found them through the Rule 5 draft. So take your chance. There's not a lot to lose. The only thing about they bring in him and they bring in Bolin, and neither, like, obviously McCambley can't go anywhere because he's a Rule 5 pick. So if he's roster, he goes back to the Marlins or is offered back to the Marlins. Yeah. Bolin is out of options. So those are the only 2 things that are a little suboptimal. But Backhouse, who they got from the lefty they got the other day, he does have options. So I think it's good to like kind of rebuild that depth. So if 1 or 2 guys go down, or if he gets suspended or whatever, like you saw last
season. Our friend Tao Daubert from Phillies Nation, got a quote from Dave. It says, one of the things that I've talked about looking to have over the last few years is a right-handed person in the bullpen that dominates right-handed hitters. So we think he has a chance to do that. I think Bolin, the same thing. I mean, the guy that we brought from Kansas City, they're very, very similar from a profile standpoint.
So with McCambley too, like this scouting staff, this front office, they're also very familiar with him. He went to Pocono Mountain East. I know they looked at him. He was at Coastal Carolina. I think they like how he changed his delivery since he's been with the Marlins. I'm very intrigued by him. I was intrigued by him when he was at Coastal. People don't realize this. I'm a Coastal Carolina baseball fan. So yeah, I mean, look, he was a good pitcher in college. I always liked the kid. Kind of shocked he didn't make the majors yet, but he's been making a lot of changes. And now that he's in the bullpen, we'll see.
I thought you were a Penn State fan. What's going on here? What's going on? Are we losing it here?
No, look, I grew up before I went to Penn State. I went to Myrtle Beach every year, and the Chanticleers were the team down there, and their baseball team was that little engine that could, and the little engine that could eventually won the College World Series when they got some money. So,
Jeff, you just gave me PTSD because Pocono Mountain East eliminated my soccer team from the district playoffs. And
you're probably familiar with Pocono Mountain East.
Yeah, in 2012, they kicked the crap out of us in the playoffs. So that's my association with Pocono.
Look, I'll go right quick to a few of the charts before we get into kind of the big discussion on a couple of topics that I want your opinion on. But Matt Strom, 3 years with the Phillies, 17-10. I remember him kind of replacing Ranger Suarez when Ranger Suarez got hurt 1 year, and he pitched maybe maybe a month to 2 months of the season. I mean, as a starter, he did a great job there. Look, 2.71 ERA, 159 ERA plus with the Phils. I mean, that is a pretty powerful number there that speak highly of him. But I agree with you in terms of the decline. And the last 2 postseason in 2024, 18 ERA. He allowed a major home run and a blown save. And then this past offseason, I mean, that home run by our dear enemy, Teoscar Hernandez, I mean, that basically that was painful in game 1. So
I'll tell you what, Oscar, though, we'll never forget the 9th inning of game 4 of the 2023 NLDS. That was insane.
That was insane. That was insane. So look, a great guy. Jonathan Bolin come from him. I mean, he's not young. He's 29 years old. Has a 96-mile-an-hour fastball with a tremendous whiff of 43.5 and a slider at 40.2. The guy has a powerful arm. He's interesting. He has thrown an immaculate inning in the minors, and he's thrown a no-hitter. I mean, this guy. I mean, he has some experience in the minor leagues. But take a look at the interesting part. Right-handed batters. 505 OPS with 182 batting average, left-handed hitting. I mean, left-handed pitching. 933 OPS. So that is scary there.
Oscar,
when I look at those numbers.
fun Jonathan Bolin story for you. So our friend Corey Nido, who comes on this show, he was the Wilmington Blue Rocks play-by-play guy when Jonathan Bolin threw his no-hitter. Yeah, so he'll tell you that story next time you have him.
Yeah, I know that he was interviewing in his social media. He was interviewing him. I mean, probably after the no hitter. So, look, the lefty they brought. I mean, I guess is he has options in the minors. He brings depth. He has a great profile against left-handed batters at 503 on base percentage. But contrary to Bolin, he has a 988 OPS against right-handed batters. So interesting guy. I mean, he throws kind of a underneath, the Culver type 9-degree angle. I mean, a very, very interesting guy. I mean, he saved 2 games last year for the Diamondbacks. I mean, look, interesting guy. We'll see how he doesn't strike out too many guys. That's one thing that I did see. So interesting profile in the majors. In the minors, he had a 32.7 in AAA at 32.7 K percentage. So
he's one of those guys before the 3-batter minimum. I think he would have been like a lot more effective. He's got to be able to get some righties out or come on every time with 2 outs in an inning. But like you saw this problem with Gregory Soto when he was on the Phillies, not to this extent, but Gregory Soto never gave up hits to lefties, but righties would occasionally crush him. Mm-hmm. And in today's game, you have to be able to get out both.
Yeah, because of the reality of the 3 hitters, unless you can put him on the bottom of the 9th just to get one lefty out or something. Here comes a big lefty, Otani or something like that, and then you get him. He strikes him out. How about that?
You take Duran out of the game with 2 outs.
2 outs, and then you bring him to face Otani. Look,
can you imagine Twitter if like
Rob will get killed? Oh, man. Rob's head will be on a stick. If he
I won't spend too much time on this. I mean, 3 additional arms that we brought. Jonathan Hernandez, he was with the Rangers. He had Tommy John surgery, had a lat issue in 2003 when they went to the World Series in the playoffs and did not pitch for them. But it's a guy that has really good a slider and a changeup. I mean, with some nice profiles there, and have a good 5 years experience in the majors. So it'll be interesting. He's 29. Bryce Wilson, I mean, I think his depth in case somebody gets hurt. I mean, you could potentially bring him over. And then a guy in the minors, they brought him from, hopefully this is the same case that happened with Christopher Sanchez. I mean, this kid, Joniel Curret, he's from the Dominican Republic. I mean, he has a tremendous profile. I mean, a 97.2, he throws hard. He has a hard cutter as well. I mean, he has a tremendous profile. And look, it'll be very, very interesting in the minors. He's 22-16 with a 3.10 ERA. He's a starter. Interesting profile, and the Phillies went out and get it. So
yeah,
got him. So
he's definitely an interesting one. I think he's a guy. I don't know if it would be right out of the gate, but that's a guy that can be in your bullpen at some point this upcoming season. And I thought it was interesting. I believe it was one of the Dombrowski media availabilities a couple days ago, and when they were talking about the bullpen, he actually brought his name up, which I thought was a little interesting. I think this is a guy that they really like, and I think a guy that they potentially want to have in the back end of their bullpen.
Look at his scouting grades. His fastball is at 70. The top number is 80. A 70 fastball, I mean, is elite. I mean, that's Andrew Painter type and some of the elite. This guy has a tremendous fastball. The problem is his control. His control is at 40. So
whenever I'm taking a chance on a relief pitcher, I want one that maybe is a little erratic but can throw 100 miles an hour.
But not too erratic. Not too erratic. Alvarado's preference, right? Alvarado's control.
You can teach control easier than you can treat like 99. It's a lot.
Yeah. Look, hey guys, that's what Lehigh's for, right? You get him in Lehigh, you just see how he does, and he'll be ready to go. Exactly. They need him.
Look, going back to kind of where this team is right now, just talking at a high level. Look, we've won in consecutive years. We continue to win more games. In 22, we won 87. We won. We were 82-20 in 2001, 87 and 75. 90 wins, 95 wins, 96 wins. I mean, the team continues to stride. And if you look at our hitting, I mean, our hitting has been there. Everything that is in green is top 10. Everything that is in yellow is between 11 and 20 or 11 and 19. And then everything that is in red is 20 and plus. I mean, last year, our ERA of our bullpen was 4.27. I do believe that Alvarado missing 80 games was a big, dent in this bullpen. And now you bring Duran. So I think probably this bullpen and then Keller, probably this bullpen will significantly improve versus where he was last year. I mean, our hitting would be consistent with what we have had the last few years. So, I mean, I think offensively, and then the big question mark, we were second in ERA in our starting pitching last year. The big question is going to be the health of Wheeler. I mean, if Wheeler is healthy, I mean, our starting pitching is going to be lead how he's been, and I expect a big turnaround, a big time turnaround from Aaron Nola. I know.
I'm glad you pointed that out.
Yeah, that's honestly, to me, that's an even bigger. I don't know. Maybe I'm naive. Maybe Zach Wheeler's not going to be peak Zach Wheeler, but if he's still really good, I wouldn't be surprised. Nola's the one, especially because he's got 5 years left on a contract, that I think he's the make or break. And in the bullpen, they're sure putting a lot of trust in Jose Alvarado bouncing back, because not only did you have this last season where he was hurt at the end and had the suspension, wasn't that good 2 years ago. So I think at his best, if you get Jose Alvarado at his best for Joan Duran, that is an insane setup. But they're putting a lot, especially now that you traded Strom, you're down to 2 lefties. If like Alvarado gets hurt or something, like that's.
And then the other thing is Keller. You can bring Keller for an inning and a third or something like that. I mean, to me,
I kind of like Orion Kirkring as the 7th inning guy too, which that seems to be the role that they're looking for him. So
I
we'll
think
see.
The big question marks are starting pitching, making sure that we have the health that is required, and then the other one is that the bullpen remains healthy and Alvarado goes and deliver.
Really quick, that last chart we just had. This is why baseball to me is the best sport on the planet. If you look at the record, the year we went to the World Series is last out of the 4 years. If you
were
look
82
at
and 80.
If you look at OPS, it's last out of all 4 years. If you look at ERA, it's last out of all 4 years. If you look at starting pitcher ERA, it's just about last out of all 4 years. And you look at relief pitcher ERA, it's last out of all 4 years. That's why I will never stop saying you just have to get hot at the right time, because it's the absolute truth. It is
2022. They were hot the day Rob Thompson took over, and they just kind of didn't stop. Not until game.
Yeah. And it's just, you just have to be hot. Like, if you're hot, you're probably going to go far. And if you're not hitting at the right time, then you're probably not going to go far.
It's going to take me a minute to find it.
Sorry, I also didn't mean to hop
out
of the screen there.
It's your fault, man. It's
for
your
a
fault.
Second. I heard when Oscar was talking for a second, like 5-10 minutes ago, I heard random like Christmas music just like blaring outside of my house. And so I walked downstairs really quick, and there was a group of about 20 people caroling outside of my house.
Look at that.
I thought you were going to say Santa came to your door or something.
No, they were screaming with a big JBL speaker playing about as loud as they could possibly play.
This is what happened. This is what happened when we went to the World Series.
Yeah, it's just you get hot. Look, they had a 689 OPS when they went to the World Series, but they got the hit at the right time.
I still love the whole like this team chokes in the playoffs. I'm like, okay, well they beat 103 Braves team once, so I guess they're chokers. I don't know. It's some narratives, man. It's tough. It's tough to beat them.
It is tough. Let me go back now to kind of where we were before. Roger, you keeping up with us or
no? Oscar, the thing that I'm really focused on here is that, this past year we had all the pieces, and then we caught some incredibly bad luck health-wise late in the season, and we caught a couple of bad umpiring calls against the Dodgers. That's how close we came.
Yeah.
And I look at this, and I'm not expecting Wheeler to come back at full blast. I'm not expecting much from Painter, and I still think that this team can win 95 games again. And I think it can, I think it's going to be more competitive in the playoffs because this feels like a better bullpen for going into the playoffs than what we had before. And and knock wood, we'll have Wheeler back. And, I just think there are all these, when I look at the guys we're taking a chance on now, they're young, cheap guys, and we got a ton of them. And, somewhere in there, I think we're going to find a I don't know. I give Dombrowski some credit. I think that running it back was the right strategy, but this is kind of running it back plus. And, knock wood will resolve the JT thing in a way that makes us feel good. Obviously, if they get rid of him and they get rid of Bowman and get Bichette, that would be.
Question for all you guys: who do we think bats clean up on this team?
Can you hold that question?
Yeah.
It's coming. It's coming. I promise you, it's coming. I have 4 more slides and we're done, Tim. So I'm going to run through the next 3. I'm going to run through the next 3, and then we'll spend some time both. About where this roster is and kind of where we're going. So here are the opportunities around our hitting, chasing and whiff are the 2 biggest areas. We were 28th and 19th in chase and in whiff. And then you look at the percentage strikeout. These are areas that we need to continue to strive on and improve in terms of the percentage strikeout. We were better in the first half of the year than the second half. The percentage being patient and disciplined in terms of base on balls, and then our stolen bases. We had Turner leaving in a month or so at the end of the year, and that significantly we were in the top 10, and then that significantly put us down. I think bringing Crawford in, and either Crawford or Rojas, whomever is going to be playing that center field, if we don't make any additional changes, I think it's going to significantly improve our stolen bases. It's probably going to put us in the top 10. And then the other thing that I'll just mention, the fact that Castellanos will not be on this team next year, potentially, that will significantly improve our chasing and our whiff, because he was the worst out of all of them. The worst by far.
I like how you put it in potentially. I'm pretty sure it's a done deal.
Hey, the guy's still with us, so I'm saying potentially.
That's because no one wants him.
Look, this is what we saw before, and Tim, you put this Patterson. The issue that we had on our fourth hitter, fourth hitter hit 720 last year. Look where Alec Baum basically was, our third base, hitting at 700 OPS. That is an area that we need to continue to improve, and it's an area, a big area opportunity. We'll talk more about that in a minute. Let me just finish here. Here's where our pitching is. When you look at all the numbers of our pitching, our ERA of our relief pitching was 20th in baseball. We talked about kind of improving that area. And then the other thing is we did not have Duran the entire year. We had 27 blown save, which were the 7th most in all baseball. So it's an area that we need to continue to improve. Other than that, if we can replicate our pitching continues to do what they've been doing, particularly our starting pitching. We should be able to shine and win 95 games this year. The potential of winning again 95 games. Okay, let's go to the 2 biggest slides that I have here for you guys. The first one, and I think it boils down to this. So on the right-hand side is a slide. This was the payroll for the top teams in baseball. So the Dodgers were number 1 at $417 million. The Mets were number 2 at $346. The Yankees were at $319, and the Phillies were at $314. And the Phillies had to pay in luxury tax $56 million. Right now, in this precise moment, without signing JT, and after trading Baum, according to our friends at Spot Track, we're at $301.5 million, and we would be paying a $39 million luxury tax. So, and look, we have to give it to Middleton and the management team of the Phillies. They have been investing big time on this team. From 209 in 2021, we're up to 314, $100 million incrementally in 2025, and we have to give it to them. They want a winner in here. I think the most important thing, more than the winners, is we need to hit the mark. When we bring one of these big contracts, we need to hit the mark to be able to be successful. I do believe that in that there are two contracts that have not been successful for the Phillies. One was Castellanos, and I have the numbers to prove it if I can show it to you. And the second one is Taijuan Walker. I think we missed the mark on those two. But what we've done with bringing Harper, extending Romuto, what we've done, bringing even Turner. I mean, Turner turned it around last year. I mean, his numbers are really, really impressive. If you look at the WAR that he did last year, I mean, if Turner continues to play like he played last year and he fills, I mean, Wheeler, the contract that we extended Wheeler, those two back contracts are the two things that you need to minimize or try to avoid at all costs.
Yeah, I'd say if you sign as many free agents as the Phillies have signed, they honestly have a pretty good ratio because Schwarber and Wheeler were two of the best contracts, maybe in MLB history, their first ones. JT's aged really well for a catcher. So, yeah, I mean, Harper's has mostly gone pretty well. I think Turner was a little uneven, but for the most part, I wouldn't have done 11 years, but like he's been a productive player, especially this past season. So overall, you've done well on those contracts. You didn't do well on Castellanos or Taijuan Walker. If you sign free, like it's a reason most teams aren't built through free agency. The Phillies have actually hit on a high rate of these big contracts, higher than a lot of teams would if they made this many investments in free agency.
Yeah, so it's any thoughts at a high level? I mean, the reality is that there is not much more to spend other than bringing JT here. Thoughts with you, Roger? Go ahead.
Well, Oscar, to me, the thing on this chart that really stands out is that half the teams in Major League Baseball spend less money on their fielding a team than the Dodgers paid in luxury tax. And I mean, the game is imbalanced that way. And I think the Phillies are constrained because we're never going to go all the way up to where the Dodgers are. But we are able to spend enough to have a competitive team. And if we could just have a year where we got lucky, I think we'd be great. And by the way, there are a lot of other ways we could get lucky. I mean, Painter could actually, rise to his promise, right? Wheels could come back fully strong, right? I mean, and if Walker pitches the way he pitched last year, he's going to be a fine fifth starter. A little bit of a bounce from Nola, and suddenly you got a pitching staff even without Ranger that looks as good as last year's.
So look, here is the free agents the Phillies have signed. Kind of the major free agents that we have signed. I mean, we're not including some of the smaller deals, kind of the 1-year deals type of a thing. But I mean, Harper has delivered a 3.8 WAR per year. Turner 4.0 already after 3 years with the Phils. You see the OPS is there also on the left. Kyle Schwarber 134 OPS, 2.9 WAR per year. JT Romuto 7 years, 110 OPS plus, 3.6 WAR, and then Castellanos 100 OPS plus. So it's basically flat, kind of an average player with a very, very small WAR of 0.3 per year. And then you see Wheeler. I mean, Wheeler was amazing, 146 plus ERA and a 5.1 WAR per year. And then I wanted to be fair with Aaron Nola. I mean, he was injured last year. And I put the 11 years he's been with the Phils. He has 110 ERA plus and a 3.2 WAR, and then Taijuan Walker is at 0.8 WAR per year. So if you look at this, I mean, basically Castellanos and Taijuan Walker has been kind of the back contracts, and you're not going to hit 100%, but I think the Phillies have made the investment to bring quality, and I mean, both Schwarber and Wheeler have been steals. I mean, in my view.
Yeah, and I mean, unfortunately, other than those two, the contract that really sticks out is the Aaron Nola contract. And if you get the Nola you've had in the past, then it's not as bad of a contract. Did anyone ever really want to give Aaron Nola 7 years? No.
He has 5 years left, by the way.
But it had to happen at the time. And it was a contract at the time where it's either you give Nola 7 years or he might
or the Braves give him
deal,
7,
and then he's pitching against you for the next 5 years. And at the time, he didn't look like he did last year. Obviously, he was hurt, but that's the contract. Because if you get a bounce back Nola for 3 more years, then it's not a bad contract. But if you get a sliver of what you got last year for the last 2 years, that's a tough $25 million off the books for a guy that's not giving you what he ever gave you in the past.
Well, I think this is the problem with giving these extra years, as the Phillies have done. It lowers the luxury tax hit per year. But like, I don't think a team was going to 7 years for Aaron Nola. I don't think a team is going to 11 years for Trey Turner. I don't think a team is going to 13 years for Bryce Harper. So you do spread out the luxury tax hits, but those years at the end still happen.
They will happen. I mean, when you start looking at some of them being by 2030 and 31, it's a little scary. I mean, and that's kind of the reality of the situation.
That's why I didn't have a problem with Dombrowski basically challenging Harper a couple months ago. Because look, like, I think Bryce is going to have a bounce back year. I think we all think he's going to have a bounce back year. But, you know, if you want to look at 2025 Bryce Harper, it's probably not what they're paying for. But overall, the entirety of the contract, you got what you and more from Bryce Harper. So it's been a good deal so far. Let's just hope that 2025 isn't a repeating pattern.
So here's kind of where the team is right now, where the roster is. And I'll put a comment there that they talk about Langelier and Goodman in a minute, talking about Sacramento or the A's and the Rockies with a potential trade. Look, the reality is, if you trade, you're going to have to pay, and you're going to lose a lot of the minor league system that you have right now, which, I mean, at the highest level is limited. I mean, in terms of what you have. But in terms of starting from the left, upper left, Wheeler, you have the amount of money they're going to be making in 2026 there. So Zach Wheeler, Christopher Sanchez, Jesus Luzardo, Aaron Nola, Taijuan Walker, and Andrew Painter, those are going to be the starters. I mean, if Wheeler is not ready in the beginning, you're going to have the bottom five being the starters. Taijuan would move to the bullpen as a lone reliever. If the other guys, if Andrew Painter pans out, but the ideal world for the Phillies would be Wheeler, Sanchez, Luzardo, Nola, and Painter, your top five, and then you're set for the year. And then you would bring down Taijuan Walker, and then you have Duran, Alvarado, Keller, Banks, Kerkering. Boland has to make the roster if he's going to stay with the Phillies, because he does not have options. And then the same thing with Zach McCambley, that he needs to be with the Phillies or he's out. And then you see the additional pitchers that we would have in the minor league. Something interesting happened. I don't know, Tim, if you read it, about Seth Johnson, that they added one more year to his of option for him.
Yeah, that happens from time to time. Yeah.
Yeah, Major League Baseball allowed one more year. I guess he was hurt or something, and they added one more year, so he has one more option to go to the minors. But to me, this is pretty much said. I don't know what you can change from this. The bottom two guys, the Boland and the McCambley, they're question marks, and you go to spring training with the guys on the bottom, and then you make a decision how you finish your roster, at least from a pitching standpoint. Any thoughts from a pitching standpoint before we move to the other part?
I think it's a really good group, honestly. Like, I know there's some concerns about Wheeler, rightfully so. There's some concerns about Taijuan Walker, but how many teams would sign up to have Christopher Sanchez, Jesus Luzardo as their number one and number two? Imagine beyond that, if you get Wheeler to bounce back, if you get Nola to bounce back, if Painter or something, and you're not going to get all these things. That's the reality. But like, Wheeler Luzardo or Sanchez Luzardo is a really good one too. Like, those, you could have two guys finish in the top five in Cy Young with those two.
It's also funny to think about where the Phillies would be at money-wise and how crunched they would be if Sanchez and Luzardo were actually on contracts that they should be on. Christopher Sanchez should not be making $5.6 million a year, and Jesus Luzardo should not be making $12 million a year. They both should be making more than what they're making. So that, like, it's just funny to think about, like, where they could be this offseason. It could be a lot worse than it is.
Well, Luzardo will be making a lot more next year.
Yeah,
yes, he will be. Correct.
Especially how he pitched in that game to the NLDS.
His number might start with a 3 next year if he pitches the way he pitched this past season.
So going around the horn, JT Realmuto to the big question mark. I mean, the Phillies, I do believe, have a 2-year, $17 million offer out there. I'm not sure. It's a projection. I mean, that projection came from the Athletic a long time ago. Is what was projected on a yearly basis. You have Kyle Schwarber, just DH. Your first base is going to be Harper. Then you have Bryson Stott in second base, with Edmundo Sosa potentially platooning with him against tough left-handed pitchers. Then you have Trey Turner in shortstop, Alec Bohm at third base, and then the outfield would be Brandon March in left, Justin Crawford in center, and Adolis Garcia in right. And then Otto Kemp would be kind of his platoon in left field against left-handed pitching. So, against left-handed pitching. So that's kind of what we have. And then in the bench, in addition to Edmundo Sosa and Otto Kemp, you'll have Rafael Marchand, and then big question mark, Weston Wilson. I mean, Weston Wilson does not have options. So you're going to have, if it's not Weston Wilson, is Johan Rojas with the team? Is Pedro Leon a very interesting guy from
Yeah.
I mean, this guy is a Cuban guy that can hit home runs. This guy has tremendous potential. He has not kind of put it all together, but it has an option to become. He came up for a couple years ago before he got hurt last year. He went up and got some interesting time with the Houston Astros. I do believe that guy has the potential to potentially make this team, if not this year, in the future. And Gabriel Rincones have options. So Johan Rojas, Pedro Leon, as well as Gabriel Rincones, all Latinos, by the way. They all have options.
Could be a really good left-handed option off the bench if he makes this team.
The problem is you need another right-handed bat. I mean,
yeah. Well, that's why I'm intrigued with Pedro Leon, because what you just said.
Bat.
Yeah.
The reason that I put Brandon March and Alec Bohm and Bryson Stott, because if we're going to trade anyone, those are the three names that you could potentially trade.
Yeah, I mean,
or potentially move around.
I look at Real Muto. That contract projection from the Athletic is not good. He's getting not that much annually, but I think you're talking, if it's a 2-year deal, like close to $30 million total. 17 is just
okay.
That
was the projection, so I put it in there.
So,
that's like the deal where you scratch your head. If he makes $17 million a year, you're like, okay.
He's making 23 right now. His number
I think
is 23.1. 23.1 right now.
He probably wants the projection. The Phillies don't want that projection.
Well, no, I think their projection was $17 million total over 2 years.
That'd be a great deal.
That'd be a great deal. JT should sit out the season if that's the best. He's going to get more than that. But as far as Bohm, Stott, and Marsh, who knows? But I would guess I'd be pretty surprised if Marsh or Stott, especially Stott, is traded. Bohm is still the interesting one, but you would have to backfill third base somehow. And until you have Aiden Miller's not going to be on the opening day roster. So
no.
And Edmundo Sosa probably not going to play every day. I think him and Stott as a platoon is a good mix. So, and Otto Kemp really struggled at third base last year. So, as imperfect as Alec Bohm is,
I keep him. I keep unless you are going to go after one of the big bats.
Yeah, right.
You have to keep him. I mean, you have to keep him.
The only thing with Bohm is it just falls, and I think this is where he's fallen into a big side of the fan base that isn't a huge fan of Alec Bohm. He's just not a cleanup hitter.
He's not. But I mean, you look at this team.
But he has to be for this team.
Yeah. Here goes back to our question.
In a perfect world, Bohm hits sixth. Right?
Yeah.
So we'll go. That's the next slide. But the bottom line here, I just wanted to show the upper right. So we're assuming Nick Castellanos is not on the team. Harrison Bader is not on the team. Rainier Suarez is not on the team. And Matt Strom is not on the team, and they're being replaced by Keller, Justin Crawford, Andrew Painter, and somebody else. Adolis Garcia.
I think that's fine. Also,
you're younger, right? You're younger and cheaper with Crawford and Painter.
Yeah.
One thing I do like about this whole outfield situation, we talked about all last year about how left field, the OPS was really low, and you weren't getting production. I think you're going to get production out of Brandon Marsh and Otto Kemp in left field as a platoon.
Yeah.
Any thoughts, Roger, in general, when you look at this?
I like our team, and I'm not optimistic about the first couple months of the year with Wheeler. I'm worried that he winds up coming all the way back, but just that it takes a while because of his age. I don't think Painter is going to contribute right away. So I think the first 2 months of the year, we've got a 3-man rotation, and we're, hoping that Taiwan and Nola, can keep us competitive through those first couple of months. I think our batting order is going to be better than it was last year. I'm with you. I'm with you on Marsh and Kemp and left. I think that is going to work. And I'm really excited for Crawford in center. I'm not excited to watch him play center field, but I'm really excited to watch that offensive thing. I mean, if he could somehow hit 275 or better, it would be a catalytic thing for us.
And he's going to be the 9-hitter too, which I think is very important.
Well, and the way we're structured, we know from past seasons that we do well with a speedy 9-hole guy.
Yeah.
Getting a start.
Let me bring and one of the things and part of the reason why we do this is that we want to clarify things. I mean, when we talk about investing on a catcher like Langelier and Goodman, I mean, what do you think is going to cost us to get these two guys? Andrew Painter, they want Andrew Painter, they want Aiden Miller, and all those guys. Those are the guys that are the future of the Phillies.
But you'd never do that.
Yeah,
you would never do that.
I think if they're trading for a catcher, it's going to be a name that like Joey Bart or somebody like that. Like, I don't think it's going to be a name that blows you away.
Right.
I mean, there's a name here that some dear friend sent me. Ivan Herrera could be one of options. I mean, this is he's a defensive catcher. So look, there are options out there that are going to be explored. I do believe. I mean, let's before we go into this is the last slide. Before we go into the last slide, which is the batting order against righties and lefties, what do you think the probabilities are that JT is with the Phillies next year? Jeff, let's start with you and let's go all the way down.
I'll go 75% right now, but I'm like you guys. I thought this would be done by now.
Yeah, Tim,
90%.
Okay.
Roger,
I'm going with Tim, 90.
how about you, Luke?
80.
Okay, yeah, I mean,
Luke and I are on the same wavelength here.
yeah.
We think it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Lean towards 85.
Let's make the assumption, and this would be the potential lineup, starting lineup for the Phillies if it is a right-handed pitcher or a left-handed pitcher, a tough lefty. So Turner, Harper, Schwarber, Garcia, March, Baum, Stott, Ramuto, and Crawford. That would be potentially the lineup for this year. And the reason, I mean, Tim, do you want to explain a little bit of the Bryce Harper situation of being?
Yeah, I mean, just listening to Rob, he didn't commit to anything, but I do think that they're going to flip. There's a lot of talk from Bryce Harper and from Scott Boras after the season that he didn't see as many pitches because no one was hitting behind him. That was a threat, which is true. If you have Kyle Schwarber hit behind him, he'll see more pitches. I do think it's a little weird, though, and I don't care where people hit in the order nearly as much as most people, but Kyle Schwarber just hit 56 home runs. Like, why? And you just gave him a $150 million contract. Having Bryce Harper hit behind him seemed to work. So I wouldn't necessarily mess with that, but I get that to try and get Bryce Harper going, you're going to do that. And then it comes down to on here, does Adolis Garcia, who I think is probably the favorite to hit cleanup, either him or Alec Boehm, does he bounce back? Because the last 2 years, Adolis Garcia has hit like a number 9 hitter.
Yeah, and I do believe the bet here is we start like this, and if we need reinforcement, like we did last year during the trading deadline, we go and acquire another bat that can go hit fourth and support
the one other thing I want to say, Oscar, is that I get people that would have rather had Harrison Bader over Adolis Garcia. The ceiling of Adolis Garcia offensively is higher than Harrison Bader. Harrison Bader, even at his best, was not a cleanup hitter, with all due respect.
The ceiling of Garcia was what you saw in the postseason a couple of years ago.
Right. So is there a scenario where Garcia could be a cleanup hitter? Sure. Is there a scenario where Bader could be a cleanup hitter? Probably not.
Yeah. So the options here, the next steps are sign JT, or if you don't sign JT, go trade for a catcher that probably is much better defensively than anything that is out there. And then in addition to that, if they do that and they get a cheap catcher, or I mean, then having the possibility of maybe trading any one of the guys that we talked about on this slide here, potentially Baum, and then maybe looking for a Bichette, using the money you're going to give to JT and the additional 10 million that you could get from the Alec Bohm contract, and then going with a Bichette or somebody similar to that. I think Bichette, and I agree with you, Luke. I mean, Bichette is probably the guy that fits the best. And when I look at that, Bichette is 27 years old. He's probably going to go back to the Blue Jays. That is my guess. And they're playing, it's similar to JT. They're playing back and forth. It's a little tougher with him because he's going to get big dollars because he's very young. I mean, 27 years old. And the thing with Bregman, I mean, he's 31. Bregman would fit here, but Bregman is 31 years old, and he's gotten hurt every year. He misses a month.
He'll be 32 on
he'll be 32.
The third game of the season.
So to me, it's Bichette. I mean, if you ask me one guy, it would be Bichette.
If you traded Bohm and signed Bichette, he'd be the second young player in this starting 9.
Yeah, that's
and
crazy.
He'd probably
Which
be
is nuts. Yeah.
And he'd be the third best player.
And you hit him fourth. He would be the perfect fourth hitter for this team.
I feel like we're going to see Luke lead the Bo Bichette movement.
It's already out there. Don't worry. Yeah, that is my perfect will never happen plan. Don't sign JT, trade for a catcher, trade Bohm.
Yeah. I mean, they have talked. It's they're at least interested in Bichette. I don't but that's how far it's gone.
Would be.
Yeah.
Well, guys, this is I'll go kind of to the last slide in terms of summary of what's next. So January 9th, the key days for MLB. Say January 9th is the arbitration filing deadlines for a lot of those guys. Tim, you might keep this more than I do. Who are the guys that are in arbitration eligible right now that haven't signed?
I would have to look at the list.
I know that. I mean, going back here, I do believe that Edmundo Sosa signed.
Yeah, Alec Bohm, they still have to work out with, I believe.
Stott, Bohm, Marsh, Sosa, they agreed, correct?
Yeah.
Luzardo, Tanner Banks, and then they agreed with Marchand and Stubbs.
Okay.
Because I think it was not. So, or I guess Duran, they technically have
so all the guys that I put here in orange
I believe
are eligible. Eligible. So
when is Amai's decision day? Is it the 2nd?
It's here. It's here.
Yeah, it's a second.
Arbitration hearing happens from January 26th to February 20th. That's when it happens. So arbitration filing in. International signing day. We're signing, guys, a tremendous. I mean, let's keep praying and the guy doesn't change his mind.
Well, Oscar, you already are in the know on this.
Francisco Renteria, the guy. Listen to this. He won a Winter Bowl, okay, to face all major leaguers, including I think Salvador, Ronald Acuna was in the home run derby. Salvador Perez was in the home run derby in Venezuela. This kid hit against them, and he hit 18 home runs, and he went to the quarterfinals.
Cool. Can he hit cleanup on March 27th?
This kid is 16 years old. 16 years old.
I was going to say, Luke, I don't even think he's 17 yet.
Can he hit cleanup on opening day?
Yeah. Francisco Renteria. Remember that guy? Francisco Renteria.
Let's just hope he's not Highland Ortiz, and I'll be happy.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, I've seen him. I've seen him interviewed. The kid has, he had this head. The guy is special. The guy's super special. There's some people that compare him as a 5'2" guy, compare him to Churrios from the Milwaukee Brewers. I know I'm wishful thinking here. And again, this is all reported by Baseball America that he's going to be signing with the Phillies. Look, if we get this kid, we're probably going to see him in the major leagues in no more than 3 years. This guy is a special talent that we're getting. So kudos to the scouting guys, all the scouting guys in the international scoutings for the Phils. The Hall of Fame class announcements are going to be January 20th. January 26th to the 20th arbitration hearings, and then spring training starts in mid-February, and then the World Baseball Classic is March 5th to the 17th. I had a question for you guys. I thought Harper said last year he was playing for Team USA, and I don't see him on the list.
There's some story behind that. I won't get into it, but
okay. I don't know. I just remember
he's playing for Team USA.
He didn't do it. He didn't say it last year. He was supposed to in 2023, and then he had Tommy John. I asked him last summer after Aaron Judge committed if he was going to do it, and he just kind of said, like, I don't know, we'll see how I feel.
I saw a report somewhere that, I mean, I saw like maybe somebody put it as a
Honestly,
fake image. Or
I think the best like Nick Kurtz on the A's is probably the best first baseman. Like I would take him to be my guy.
Yeah,
and maybe Pete Alonso.
He's a beast, dude. He's a beast.
On there too. Like
he's a beast.
I don't think Trey's gonna play. I haven't heard about Trey.
I don't think he is, because they've taken too many middle infielders already.
Yeah,
it's kind of weird based on how well he played last time. But then you look at Bobby Witt and Gunnar Henderson, and it's like, all right. Well,
yeah, exactly. It does feel like the whole every 3 years thing. Like guys have like 1 or 2 legitimate chances to do it. Yeah. Maybe Trey had his chance.
Yeah, I mean, I got to put this from Dorwin. Dorwin loved Fairbanks. Look, I love to have Fairbanks. The problem is there's no money. I mean,
yeah, I don't think they're signing another reliever.
Yeah, I mean, there is no money. And I think we're good the way we are. We have a tremendous team. We're going to start. If JT signs, we're probably going to start like this, and then we'll see in the trading deadline, and then we'll bring potentially somebody else, and then opening day is March 25th. So, look, guys, thank you so much. I think we brought everybody up to speed. Roger, we need to send you you need to go to sleep.
It's been a long day, Oscar. It's been a long day.
Thank you for joining us, Roger. It's always a pleasure.
And I'm looking forward to pitchers and catchers reporting.
Yeah, just so you know, when I go out here, I think of you when the weather is like 19 degrees or 20 degrees in the morning, but I'm walking the dog. I mean, it's like, I want to be where Roger is. I mean, a lot warmer.
Endless summer.
Awesome.
Gentlemen, have a wonderful holiday.
Take care. Follow him on
Happy
Moon
New Year
Alice.
to
I
everybody.
mean, he's the best. Roger, thank you so much, brother.
Bye.
Take care. Tim, where can we follow you and all the magic that you're doing on Patterson?
At Tim Kelly Sports, and then on every social thing, and on Patterson.com, and Phillies Stoplight on YouTube.
The best stoplights, and now they have a podcast. I mean, I've been watching the podcast the other day. They have the Jimmy
podcast is excellent.
Jimmy Salisbury the other day. I mean, that was tremendous. So tremendous job, Tim, for putting that together.
I didn't do shit for that, to be
I gotta do this. I gotta do it with Anthony Sanfilippo, the great. By the way,
Tim's like, I'm just on the show.
The other day, I go with my son and his girlfriend. I go to a hockey game. Roger, you can bail out if you need to. So
I need to. Take care.
Take care. I go to the other day. I go to the hockey game, and then the guy tells me he has like a pregame show. He asked me to go up there and try to do. Why don't you do a goal in the hockey goal?
It was electric.
I mean, come on, guys. I mean,
it was
hockey.
Electric.
I mean,
I'm
from Latin America, dude. Yeah. We don't even know what a puck is.
I don't watch hockey, but I watch that.
Oh man,
yeah, exactly. I would watch Oscar. I would watch you see Trevor Zegras or whoever score.
Yeah.
Cover commentator.
Hey, don't ask me don't ask me 2 players from the Fly.
Well, Matvei Michkov and Trevor Zegras. There you go.
Michkov, he's the future. He's the future. I know that for a fact. So we follow him, follow Tim on Patterson and all the magic stoplights and everything that he's doing there. Grace also is doing a tremendous job. Luke, where can we follow you in social media?
Yeah, it's either so it should be at Arcaini Luke on Twitter, X, and then it should be Luke Arcaini everywhere else. Reading everything for Crossing Broad, and excited for everything to keep going.
Guys, thank you so much. Jeff, where can we follow you in social media? Now we have you have a new social media, which I love. I love the ending of that.
Yeah, right now I'm just going with Jeff Kerr PHL until I get my next employment opportunity. But
hey, PHL, come on, bring it on, baby! I love the PHL. Let's go, Phillies.
We'll see. It's going to be an interesting 2026 for me. That's for sure. I'm sure you guys will know probably first wherever I'm going. But right now, job market stuff. I'll just say.
Let's start. Let's do what you have on your left there, the Christmas tree. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to everyone out there. Look, the Phillies are doing their part. I mean, let's us do our part and be safe with your loved ones. And we truly care for you guys, and that's why we bring this to you every time. Tim, Luke, thank you so much. Jeff, you guys are the best. Thank you so much, and I look forward to the new year to do some additional magic. Hey, if there's a trade for Bichette or something like that, we'll be back with you to see about all the implications around that. Have a wonderful holiday season, guys. You guys are the best. Thank you so much.
All right. See you guys.
Lanzamiento, aquí viene un batazo de Mundito entre right center field, la bola pica, se extiende, viene anotando Stott, empata el juego, también manda para la bola Turner anota y los Phillies se van arriba. Se prepara, Mundito en segunda, el lanzamiento, batazo profundo para el center field, la bola se va, Schwarber Bob, ¡campanazo! Aquí viene el lanzamiento. Swing y lo ponchó.